Good evening, folks, and welcome to the 6 o'clock news on SBYnews.com. This is our special edition where we're interviewing different candidates throughout the state. With me today is Mr. Brian Murphy, running for governor of Maryland. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me, Joe. It's good
My
to see
pleasure,
you.
my pleasure. Brian, why are you running for governor?
It's a great question. You know, we look at Maryland and there's a lot of problems here, primarily with our budget. And as you know, the governor is an executive role, it's a law enforcement role. And I feel I'm best equipped as an executive. The two gentlemen I'm running against are attorneys. And if you have attorneys run your government, you get what you deserve, and you frankly get what we've got. We need to apply sound business principles to our government, and that's why I'm running, because I think I have the right answers to balance our budget, to grow the private sector, and do the most important thing we can do this year, which is create jobs in Maryland.
Cool, great. You face former Governor Bob Ehrlich in the GOP primary. If successful in defeating him, you would face incumbent Governor Martin O'Malley in a general. Why should voters support you over these two candidates?
It's all about the economy. It's about creating jobs. You know, the best thing that you can do this year, I think most people are feeling it in our pocketbooks, is select a governor who represents the interests of the private sector, who understands that taxes, higher taxes, which we have two choices next year, Joe. We can either cut taxes and balance our budget, or we can raise taxes and destroy more jobs. People know that, and I'm the only candidate who signed a no new tax pledge, because I'm the only one that thinks that $32,435,000,000 is enough money to run the great state of Maryland. So that's what I would think. And we were just talking, you know, in the break before we got on about all the waste, $900,000 fire boats, and you know, $4 million fire. What was the number?
$14 million fire department.
Forgive me, $14 million fire department. I was in Washington County last week, and some of the folks up there were saying the ag department flew the entire ag department, the local. They said this is local county government. The entire ag division down to Texas for training for a week on software. They were down there, whole thing paid for, came back to find out the software is now obsolete. And look, 6% is what we need to cut. And as governor, I have control of the purse strings, and I know we can do it. I know we can do it within our means, and we can start making, you know, getting Maryland's economy moving again.
Good, okay. What do you consider the 2 or 3 biggest challenges facing Maryland today, and how would you go about correcting them?
I think it's complacency. I think the one biggest issue is complacency. We have to realize that every spot in Maryland is fewer than 50 miles from a border. And so what does that mean? It means that we have to compete. Right now we're so complacent and frankly arrogant to think that if someone can make something in Delaware or make it in Delmarva, you know, on the Maryland side, or Delaware, where are they going to go? They should go to Delaware unless they're bad at math. And that's what we're seeing.
Well, you're honest.
You know, that's what we're seeing. And I grew up in the Eastern Shore. I want jobs in Talbot County. You know, I've got a bakery on Smith Island. I want to make sure Maryland can compete. Right now, we're pretty arrogant and complacent. That's one. I would say, 2, we're not proactive. You know, we don't pursue companies. We kind of say, look, we all know Maryland's got a pretty big government base of jobs. Look, it's the old, we think companies want to be here so badly, they'll wait in line, jumps through hoops, and frankly, they're not doing it. They can go to Virginia, they can go to Delaware, frankly, they can go to North Carolina and telecommute. I mean, that's what we're seeing.
Oh, certainly.
That's what we're seeing, is that information flows around the world, and companies in Maryland need to compete. Those are 2, and I would say the third biggest one is see the first 2.
Okay, good answer. If elected, will you support the repeal of both the sales tax increase and the so-called millionaire surcharge? If so, how will you pay for it?
Well, you know, yes, but I think we have to make sure we can pay for it. What we have to do first and foremost is look at our tax structure more broadly and make sure we can compete. We have an 8.25% corporate income tax, which is way too high. We have punitive property taxes, you know, enforced by the counties at the state level, you know, overseen by the state. We obviously have the 6% sales tax, but you know, that's kind of people see that as a cure-all if we fix the sales tax. I mean, I've got it right here. The sales tax represents about $3.9 billion, the sales tax alone. So what we have to do is look at our broader corporate taxes, our personal taxes, our property taxes, our income taxes, yes, our sales tax. I'm the only candidate who signed a no new tax pledge.
Really?
What does that tell you? Anyone can sign it. And frankly, I plan to stand by it. Right. If a candidate won't sign that, what does that tell you about the candidate? They intend to use raising taxes and fees as a way to pay for programs. Right. We don't need more money. Maryland has the largest economy in the country per capita, per person. We've got just about 5.5 million people. We have the largest economy in the country. We also have the highest tax rate. per person. So what does that tell you? In simple terms, because I like when things are simple, Maryland per person has the biggest budget of government in the country, basically in the history of the world, if you think about it. If we can't live within our means, then no one can. But we can, and under my administration, we will.
Good deal. Education is always a top issue. Other than old, worn out, spend more money, what are the ideas, what are your ideas for improving public schools in Maryland?
You know, that's a great question. I'm the only candidate, if you know this, who went all the way through public schools. I went to Glenwood Elementary, Easton Middle School, Easton High School, and I got a full academic scholarship at the University of Maryland. So I can tell you firsthand, they're great. My mom was an English teacher. I know what teachers go through, I know what students go through. Education is very important. That said, there's a lot of waste. We were at an event last week in Gaithersburg, and I talked to two teachers saying, what can we do? And at first they said, they kind of bristled because they thought I was talking about cutting their pay. We might have to cut pay, but all I care about is cutting back on the expenses, making sure that the taxpayers, the students, the teachers all get a fair shake. And Joe, within 5 minutes, they're talking about wasteful programs they see. Classes spend $15,000 on textbooks the students don't even use. That happens in Howard County, Montgomery County, it happens in Talbot County and Allegheny County, it happens all over the state. So we need to look at how we spend our dollars. And if we can do that, I have no doubt we can still deliver the best public education in the country, and we can not raise taxes. I have no doubt we can do both.
Excellent. In the minds of many, in the minds of many Eastern Shore residents, state politicians look to us primarily for our tax dollars and our votes. When it comes to helping the shore tackle its many challenges, those office holders seem to be missing in action. Give us your approach to working with the shore's representatives and its citizens to tackle problems that differ greatly from those across the bay.
Well, you know I'm biased, right? You know I'm biased, right?
You're from the Eastern Shore.
It's Talbot County.
Yes, sir.
And so, I'll never forget where I'm from. The old joke that I spent my entire childhood trying to get out of Talbot County. And now my whole adulthood trying to get back. I've got 4 young kids. I'll never forget about the shore. I mean, where did I build my first company?
Right.
On Smith Island.
Right.
So what we have to do, it's the exact same principles. It's the same principles in Garrett and Allegheny County and in Talbot County and Somerset County, which is where my bakery is. Right. We have to make sure that Maryland can compete. Our farmers, there's a reason that Maryland farms are so, there's such a steeped history in farming in Maryland. We've got to make sure we can keep that. Right. Whether it's chicken farming, whether it's crops, whether it's cattle, whether it's pigs, whatever it is, we have to make sure people on the Eastern Shore, farmers can afford to stay farmers. Right. Watermen can afford to stay watermen. Companies can come here. I mean, we've got to make sure the economy in the Eastern Shore is vibrant. And how do you do that? Well, you stop messing it up. You stop raising taxes and making folks go to Delaware for things. Right. That's the first thing the governor can do, and that's what I will do. I'll never forget the Eastern Shore. You know that. Oh, that's wonderful. It's great news. On top of that, just quickly, your family. Sure. I've got a wife who's way out of my league. Me too. She's elegant, she's wonderful, and she's very patient with her husband. I've got 4 beautiful kids, healthy kids. They all look like my wife. Thank God. And we're having a lot of fun. We're having a lot. We've been blessed. We've been blessed, and now we want to. I've never worn a uniform for my country, and my dad did. He was in the Air Force, and I regret that in a way. I want to serve my country, and I know that this is the best way I can do it. I want to make sure my kids get a better Maryland than the one I got, and the best way I can do that is support the best candidate that's in the field for governor. And with all due respect, I believe that's me, because I'm the only one giving real solutions. And so I still think this is the way out. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and we can get it done. Well, I certainly appreciate the fact you're from the Eastern Shore. It's such a beautiful territory within Maryland, and so many want to keep it preserved like it is, and keep bigger government out and let us locally across that Bay Bridge. Yeah. I feel my blood pressure just go like this. Yeah. Isn't that something? I love it. I love it over here. It's a special place, and I want to keep it. And I love it over here. Thanks for having me. Thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. Always. Folks, you have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you again tomorrow night. Thank you.